What's up, YouTube? Jeep and Bubba here, and I've been hinting at this announcement for a little bit, but let me just tell you what's going on with this video. I want to do a little bit of a recap from last year, tell you a little bit of what's coming up this year, but kind of a big announcement, something I've been working on really hard for the last couple months, is a new shop. And we've been really excited about it. We've had to keep it under hush. We've been working on it, and basically, there's a shop within about 15 minutes where we are now that is much larger. It's got really nice road frontage. Pretty much everything we need size-wise is a lot bigger. Of course, it's more expensive. And I think it really helped to take our business to the next level. So we went under contract on this building, and last week we terminated that contract, unfortunately. Come to find out, the building needed about $60,000 in repairs that weren't disclosed. We were fine with kind of splitting that with the owner of the property. Some of the repairs included electrical work and termite damage, as well as a giant hole in the roof that they didn't disclose. So we happened to go by on a day it was raining and watch the river flow in from the roof. And the tenant that's in the building now is not the owner, but is the tenant. And he's like, yeah, it's been like that a long time. It's hard to work in here. So they weren't willing to budge on price. They weren't willing to fix it before we bought the property. So we decided to back out of the deal. And there's a very, very small chance that maybe a deal could be had down the road with the folks. But as of now, we're back on the hunt. And I have been hunting probably the last 2 years very hard. Really hard in the last 6 months, because right now we're booked out a little over 3 weeks, and I just don't want my customers to have to wait that long. And the reason they have to wait that long is because I only have 2 bays. I can only work on 2 vehicles at a time unless I'm out in the parking lot, which last week I was out in the parking lot working on vehicles while Avery or Jackson were in the shop, and we have one down in the shop right now that's going to be a kind of a couple-week project, and it's blocking the bay, so we're essentially just 1 bay. And I can't hire any more folks because I can't stuff a bunch of people in a 2-bay shop. And where we're at now, we can't have lifts because of the concrete. So we're looking for a place where we have lifts, another bay, and get some more folks in and offer more services. So that's where we're at. It's not the greatest news, but it's what I've been hinting at because I've been working really hard. I got my finances in order. It was like 5 minutes from my house. I was super stoked to tell you guys about it, but I think when one door closes, another opens, and we're just going to keep our eyes open, and I think it's meant to be. So I'm not forcing it, and we're moving on. So I'm all good about it. We have been up from last year drastically, and we were busy last year. And so I'm very grateful for the work, and a lot of that work comes from you guys spreading the good word about us, and I really, really do appreciate that. I can't thank you enough. So let's talk about last year. So last year we started off the year doing a trail cleanup. We did a ride on Flatlands Road, and now unfortunately Flatlands is closed, but we did some great stuff. Me and my wife and the kids did the Georgia Adventure Trail. I did Turkey Bay and got the badges there with Russ and Johnny and David Vinings, and Avery came along and Jackson from the shop, and we had fun camping and just had a really good time getting those badges. Went to Jeep Beach, which was it's always a good time. We really, really had a good time this past year at Jeep Beach. Became an ambassador for Empower this year, Empower Lighting. Was really excited to do that, and we've loved the product thus far. I've loved working with those guys. Went out to Morse Mountain for the first time. Did Georgia Jeep Invasion. Went out there with my buddy Frank. Frankie Corn Dogs. He's my buddy. We did that ride. It was great. Did Coppinger Cove for the first time. Went out with Russ and Jackson. Did that one. Had a ball doing that. Can't wait to go back. We did a big ride at Beasley Knob. Had 30 Jeeps out there. Led it with 30 Jeeps. No issues, no problems. Got everybody off. Had a great day. Went out to the Rubicon Trail. We can't say that we didn't have any problems there, but we had fun. It was a learning experience, and it took a lot to recover from. I think I'm finally recovered from that event 6 months ago. But it was an epic trip. The video exists, and we brought you guys along for it, as well as Smoky Mountain Jeep Invasion. Went out there again and had 2 vehicles on display, and loved doing that. Right after that, went to wheeling with Warren at Windrock. So that was fun. That was a great experience. Then brought you out to SEMA, and then wrapped the year off going to Hot Springs. And then trickled in with all that, with some overlanding, some camping, lots of trail cleanups, customer rides, stuff at the shop here where we had a barbecue. There's lots of other great stuff as well. Next year coming up, of course, we'll be back out at Jeep Beach. And we've been working, pretty hand in hand with Scottles and Bottles, which, if you're not aware, is a kind of an overland event brand that's here in Georgia. And they're actually going out to an event down in Florida, an overland event down in Florida to promote it as well. But they do typically a monthly. Sometimes they skip, some of the hot months in the summer, but a monthly overland event. We just had it literally yesterday at Sweetwater Brewery, and they do it some other places as well. Well, they're going to be doing it at AMP at the J-Zilla Track Day on March the 17th. And I probably have that wrong. No, I'm right. March 17th. And then back at Sweetwater Brewery on the 24th. So doubleheader weekends, Scottles and Bottles. But I would love to get with them and do a overland event where we camp on a Saturday night and do a vendor show on a Sunday. And I think I've got a location figured out for that. And if you watch my next video coming out, you'll probably figure out where that's going to be at. Got to be working with them to do more events. We'll be at as many of their events this year as we can possibly make it to. I'm going to be working with Mile Marker this year. Just got a winch from those guys. Going to be doing some content for them, and I'm excited about that because they've had the government contract on winches for like the last 40 years, and I've had one Mile Marker winch. It was on Project Kermit, which was Nicole's TJ. There's some few videos on that if you go way back in the archives. And I really liked that winch, but I didn't have it for very long, so I'm excited to do an extended testing. And this is on their new Mission winch. That's a 12,000-pound winch, so look forward to putting that out and showing you guys what I think. Because I have run the Smittybilt through its paces, and it's time to try something else new out for you guys. I've been very pleased with the Smittybilt. It's never left me stranded. I've questioned it a few times. I'm like, you're kind of making some weird noises here and there, but I've pushed it harder and further than most people should or would. So I've been pleased with it. Let's see how the mile marker does. And I've never had a 12,000-pound winch. I've had 8s, 9,500s, 10,000, so I'm excited to have a really, really strong winch. We're going to go out to Bear Wallow in West Virginia. I'm going to probably do that with Adventure Russ, as well as Peter Mills' run in Virginia. I got a buddy that's getting married in Virginia this year, and it's pretty close to Peter Mills' run, so I'm going to do the wedding and that off-road trail as well. And then I'm going to be doing Northwest OHV Park in Bridgeport, Texas. Going to be doing that in April, actually, and I have my brother-in-law's brother is getting married in East Texas, and this is within 2 hours of that. So if I'm within 2 hours, and Abby's on spring break, which is great, so we're gonna hit it, and that's a badge trail. So those are the 3 badge trails I know I'm going after this year. I'd like to get to 40 badges this year, so I'm thinking S'more. That's right, Southern Missouri Off-Road Park. Off-road, is it 2 R's in there? I don't know. It spells out S'more. It's in Missouri, Southern Missouri. They've got a couple badges, so that would get me over. But there's a chance I go to Michigan. I don't know. I'm going to stay on the East Coast this year. I don't plan to go out west this year, just because I'm really, really focused in on trying to get into a bigger shop, a new shop, and I'm got Project Beach Cruise that's almost done, about to sell it. I'd really like to revamp the Manchi and take it to Windrock. I'd love to have it done by Jeep Beach and potentially bring it down there for that. And then I'm probably going to sell it because I'm trying to stack up my bread so that I can move into a new shop. And we're trying to convince Avery, who lives down in Atlanta right now, to move up this way. So we're trying to get all of our eggs in the right basket to proceed with getting into a bigger and larger space so we can help, get our customers taken care of faster. I don't want you to have to wait. A week is one thing, but 2 weeks, 3 weeks, that's difficult. So we're trying to work on that. And we have been for a while now, but I feel like now that I've gone through the steps and I've worked with the SBA, I've worked with my local bank, I think I know what I'm up against a little bit better, and I'm just making sure I've got as much cash as possible to move forward with that. And I'd kind of planned on maybe trading in Blue Jeep this year, trading in my Ram, maybe getting a Gladiator. I think I'm just going to try to keep both of those things running, stick to the East Coast this year, build up my bank as much as possible, because in the last few years I have just poured everything back into this business or into making content videos or going out and doing wheeling trips. Like our vacations are badge trips or wheeling trips or whatever. Like we don't you know, if we happen to go to Florida, I'm visiting my parents, staying at their house, and we're even then usually making content. So everything's all like in that pot. And I usually am just not putting money away in savings because I'm just always buying new tools, equipment, that kind of thing. So I'm going to try to, um, you know, put a little money away so that we're just absolutely prepared. And this hopefully will be the year that we get into a new and bigger shop. And then, just try to make all my focus on the East Coast. And that's where I'm from. That's where my best content has generally been from. So I think most of my viewers will appreciate that because I think when they hear Moab or the Rubicon or something like that, like they want to see it, but it doesn't seem that obtainable. It seems so hard to get out there, and it is. It's difficult and it's expensive. So if I can show you something, because most of my viewers are within in the southeast, show you something that's within a day drive that seems more obtainable, like Texas or Virginia or West Virginia or Alabama or what have you, then that's that. I think my viewers will appreciate and like that. You can let me know in the comments what you think on that. And then we're going to be doing a winch class, a couple of them at my shop. And this is what we're doing on the winch classes. I'm going to charge $50 a head. I'm only going to let 5 people come in, 5 rigs. They can bring a passenger if they want to. There'll be an additional charge for the passenger. But with that, you'll get a $50 gift card to the shop that you can spend on whatever you want, whether it's labor, recovery gear. But I figured that day, you're looking, okay, Brad, you just taught me what a snatch block is. I should probably buy one. So instead of charging for a class and then charging for a snatch block, you can use your class credit, basically, to purchase a snatch block that day. Because I am going to take the time and take a Sunday and spend 2 to 4 hours with you teaching you recovery. And I'd love to offer it for free, but I do think I need to set certain boundaries and stuff. So because all of our trail cleanups, all of our group rides, all this stuff, all that is I want to be out doing that stuff, but it also seems a little bit like work sometimes, and I never want to charge for someone to just come ride with me or whatever. But I've had a lot of requests because folks are like, we're starting to do harder trails, and I'd like to learn. I'd like to get some knowledge, and we've seen your videos where we've seen you recover, and we'd like to learn that. How can we set that up and do classes? And also, ORA is a great resource. Mike Miller out at Iron Mountain. If you want to take an off-road class, recovery class, he has a great resource as well. Because obviously, I've only got so much time on a calendar that I can do these things. But we are going to do probably 2 winch classes this year, and if they're popular, maybe 3. And I'd also like to do a recovery class in person, maybe out at Beasley Knob, and I wouldn't charge for that one. We'll just go out there. I'm going to have to limit it to probably 10 rigs, something like that. Maybe we'll do it twice next year if we have time. But I'm already looking at this year's schedule, and I have 3 events coming up in March. I only have 1 weekend I can wheel. And I also own a house that I have to maintain, and I have kids that I got to spend time with. So they come to most of these events so we can all spend time together. But there is a balance, and I've got to make sure that I am balancing those things. So I can't wheel every weekend. Number one question I get asked is, when's the next ride? And it's like, well, I just rode last weekend, the weekend before that, and the weekend before that. I'm working on it, but my main job is not setting up rides. My main job is providing for my family and keeping my employees work to do. I'm feeding them work. They're getting the jobs done. I'm ordering parts. We're doing a full-time business here, and we're cranking out a great number of Jeeps with just 3 guys in a 2-bay shop without lifts. So we're doing what we can. We're definitely going to do more trail cleanups and some more night rides. And here's the thing. I'm going to be collaborating with as many people as possible. So you'll see if you're on the Black Bear Off-Road Trail team, there'll be posts from Silver Dollar Ventures. And that's Lee. And he's going to be doing some other great stuff this year. And we're going to be working in conjunction with him. And what I mean by that is I fully expect to see Lee do some Jeep nights this year. And if I don't know if I've said this before, but we did On the Border last year as kind of like our summer patio location for Jeep nights. Well, they closed, and we've been looking for a new place to do that this summer. Now we're going to keep having Johnny's Pizza, but it's over in Swanee, so that reaches a certain demographic, and then we're looking for something maybe in the Buford area. So I can definitely foresee Lee doing something, and I would love to see him do a Jeep night. I love when he does Jeep rides because there's only one of me, and he's a good wealth of knowledge. He's got a good head on his shoulders. He knows what he's doing, and him and his wife are just a great couple, and they're great to be on the trail with. So if I can help them, or they can help me, or we can help others in our community, it's fantastic. And I've seen a lot of new Jeep clubs. I always see every year people leave Jeeping the community and new folks coming in. And it's always, I hate to see people leave, but I love to see the influx into our community, and we're always here to try to lend a hand to teach, to make sure that we're treading lightly and everyone has the right equipment on their vehicles and the right equipment to recover themselves safely, because inevitably you're going to learn, okay, this could potentially be dangerous, or I could break something. And for most people, their Jeeps are their daily drivers as well. They've got to use them to take their kids to school or get their groceries or whatever. So we want to make sure everyone has a fun but safe time, and they're not wrecking their vehicles. And there's a way to do that. If you watch my videos for the last 4 years, I've taken my wife's daily driver and hucked it, down trails. But we've got the right equipment, we've got the right recovery gear, we got the right knowledge, and we've been lucky a little bit here and there. But really, it's being educated, because I know kind of when I should send it and when I shouldn't, when I should stop and winch. Even if it's not cool, and it's cool to get off the trail. That's the point, right? So that's the idea for this year. I've told you about some of the events and the places we're going to go, and those are the videos you're going to see. So expect install videos, expect wheeling videos, expect us being at events, and we'd love to meet you and talk to you. Expect some more swag, new swag coming out. And for those that have been tracking or been watching my videos and know this, I've been going through a little bit of mental health issues for the last almost 6 months now, and I am feeling the best I've felt in a long time right now. So I appreciate everyone who's reached out and I've talked to, and there's been a lot of men that are my age that have come to me and say, hey, I appreciate you talking about it, because I deal with it too, and we've had conversations, and I've liked that it's opened that door, that I've been able to have those conversations. Frank always makes really nice comments down below in the comments section, and is encouraging, and even called me and talked to me about his experiences. So it's been great, and there's been tons of you that have talked to me about it, and I really appreciate it. But I'm feeling great. I've lost 40 pounds over the last year or so, and I'm going to continue to work on my mental and physical health. I played football for years, and I knew about rehabbing muscles, as far as like if you get hurt, if you had a sprain, or if you had a tear or something. And I've never thought about mental health as needing to rehab your mind. But I think I've pushed the limits of my mental health for the last 4 years or so with this business, and I think it took me having to set a few boundaries, and making sure I'm getting good sleep, and making sure I'm eating the right foods. And I don't always do the right things, but I've figured out what works for me, and what I have to do. And I struggle to say no, because I'm a people pleaser. I want to anybody that calls me, I had people message me today, can you get me in this week? We have a show this weekend, and I want to say yes to everybody, but I just can't put that pressure on my guys. I can't put that pressure on myself. I definitely put myself in some bad situations in the last few years, where we're working on stuff the night before a big show, and we're making these pushes, and then you look back, you're like, why did we do that to ourselves? Why did we stay up till 2 or 3 in the morning? And sometimes they worked out and they were important and whatever, but it's not worth having anxiety attacks or having the type of issues that I was experiencing or feeling. So I'm glad to be back. I'd say I'm probably 80% back, and feeling pretty good. So I appreciate you guys, and I love that I have this off-road community, this YouTube community, and appreciate all my friends in the off-road community. You guys are like family to me, and I love this hobby. It's a large part of my life. It's a big part of it. So keep watching with us. Please like and subscribe, and tell your friends about us. And if I can help you in any way, just reach out. I don't know how to get me. Leave a comment below. Email us at info@blackberryoffroad. Give us a call, DM, or whatever. I am not as fast on DMs as I used to be, and I'll try to get back to you. I don't see the ones on Instagram don't come to my phone. I've got to actually like go into Instagram and go into Messenger, and I have 4 Instagram accounts that I post to. I have 4 or 5 Facebook accounts, 2 TikToks, all kind of stuff. So I do get back to everybody eventually. But sometimes I go through there and I'm like, it's been a week and I meant to respond faster. So I respond faster to emails, yeah, and I pretty much respond to every comment that goes down there below. But yeah, I appreciate you guys watching. I hope there's an adventure in your future. Eat your prunes. We'll be seeing you.